had a little snafu with Ensign Engineering and the guys that are building the tent for the Erda days. Roseanne sent them a boilerplate building permit application, and they got all confused and I don't know, snippy about it. But I think we're past it. I think we're good.
Okay. Are we still on the hot mic?
Mm.
Okay.
Yep, we are.
So we got that 22-25 ordinance. Did you print that or just online?
I've got it in front of me. I only printed one copy.
No. Hello? No, I'm at got our council meeting tonight. He's what? Yeah, you're cutting in and out.
We'll start as soon as you get back, Terry.
You Collier tomorrow, 1 o'clock for lunch. You want to go to that? Want lunch tomorrow? I'll buy you lunch.
Collier?
Collier investment group looking at properties in Erda.
Sure.
Then we need to go see Dempsey before or after that.
I'm scheduled on Dempsey at 11.
11? I can be back by 11.
Do 11 for lunch, and
Then Monday meeting with the airport.
You know Tom Tripp.
I do.
I'll tell you later after the mics are cold.
oh. Okay. Is our quorum ready? Yep. I'll take that as a yes. All right, this meeting will come to order. This is Erda City Council meeting held on Thursday, June 23rd, 2022 at 7 p.m. We're in the Tooele County Auditorium located at 47 South Main Street, Tooele, Utah. This meeting is broadcast by Google Meet and also on YouTube. We are now, before we start, let's be a little unprofessional here, but we gotta just checking for Kale. Kale is gonna be dialing in. He's not gonna dial in either. Okay, so we're gonna excuse Kale Martin tonight. And Scott he said he's gonna be late, so we do have 3 here. We have a quorum. So Terry Minor.
Here.
Jess Bird is here. Craig Smith.
Here.
All right, we do have 3. And we'll go ahead and do a pledge. I think it's my turn. Repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
I'm supposed to call Cal in.
He's in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we open up the meeting to public comment. I'm gonna go check the laptop.
You got that other recorder going, Jeff?
I don't have it. Jen's got it. Unless she gave it to me and I lost it. All right, I don't see any hands online.
Seeing none, Chair will entertain a.
Motion to close.
Wait.
Oh, hold on.
We may have
Public
one.
comment.
There's not a paper up here, but I'll sign something later. So Aubrey Smith from Erda. I just wanted to say thank you for this job you do. I know the sacrifice for your families and your actual real jobs, what pays you your bills. I know the work that goes into this and the extra hours, the meetings and the talking to people. I've unfortunately been to enough meetings that attendance wanes when the hard work is happening. I know that there are big decisions coming up. There's going to be subdivisions coming, and there's going to be the moratorium will be lifted, and unfortunately, that's when people will get nasty, and you'll get the rude emails and mean comments online, whatever. But just remember that nobody was here when you were making the policies. No, where are they when you're making the decisions how to move forward in the city? It's unfortunate that the complaining tends to come after those decisions are made. So just keep that in mind. They weren't here when you were trying to work out all the bugs. So don't take the meanness too seriously, I guess. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I move we close the public comments.
Been moved and seconded that we close public comment. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Public comment is now closed. It was suggested earlier that we table approving meeting minutes from 6:16. So I think we just go along with that. Any objections? Okay. All right, we'll move on to the treasurer report.
Okay, I only wrote one check this week for Somas for $5,100. I deposited $811.14 into the bank from building permits. But what I want to make everybody aware of is July is going to be a bad month. Because here's a list of a couple things that is definitely going to be paid next month. The civic review is $2,750. The Utah local government's $4,341. That's for our liability and the bond, the treasurer bond. And then roads is going to be $103,441, and law enforcement for $132,205. For a total of about $242,737.
Okay.
To the record, how much have we paid Somas total to date?
It's like 24,000, so I think we're within, and I don't know if it's gonna be the last one. Because it's, $24,075 to date, counting this one. So if it's a true 75,000, then we're
25,000.
25,000. It's pretty much almost there.
They can bill us $925, but that's about it, huh?
Anything else from the treasurer before we move on to our public hearing?
Well,
Okay,
haven't deposited it yet.
all right. Chair moves that we open this meeting, public hearing for our fiscal year 2023 budget.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we open this meeting to the public hearing for our 2023 budget. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Meeting is now open for public hearing.
Are there any hands raised online?
Jeff McNeil just joined, but then it went away.
For the record, how many people are online?
We've got John Graham's and then 2 others.
Seeing no public comment, I move we close the hearing for the fiscal year 2023 budget.
Second.
Everybody's let in that's asked right now, so.
Need to wait a minute.
Want to sit in a comfy seat?
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we close public hearing for fiscal year 2023 budget. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, public hearing is closed.
Anybody got any questions on the budget?
So, yeah, we'll open discussion for ordinance 2022-25, adopting fiscal year 2023 budget. And I printed out the budget.
This is something that's been out there. We've all had a chance to look at it. We've all had a chance to give input. They've gone through and put in everything we requested or explained why they didn't think it was a good idea to have it in there. I move that we adopt the fiscal year 2023 budget.
Council,
Oh,
Yes,
Yes.
council.
you need to insert a certified tax rate, the second page of that ordinance. There's a blank.
I see it under section.
Yeah. And what I would suggest is you use the certified tax rate given to you by Tooele County.
We haven't got one that I know of yet.
I was in their budget meeting Tuesday. I don't know if they had the actual number yet either. But we've said that we're not going to raise taxes, and so I agree with John that we will go with the county certified rate.
Can we fill in this blank in a way that retroactively selects the rate that they choose?
Yeah, I think what we ought to say is that the rate will be the certified tax rate as determined by Tooele County assessor.
We have, which is certified tax rate is determined by Tooele County auditor based on the approved property tax revenue and the referenced yield. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds really good. Somebody already wrote that. Just right.
So I think the blank is a typo. We just removed the blank. No, it's not. Is hereby set as blank, which is the certified tax rate.
So it should be set at the rate. At the certified tax rate.
So as hereby set as the certified tax rate. And
Yes.
from there. So we're gonna strike the blank and which is.
Right.
Is hereby set as the certified tax rate. Okay, everybody good with that?
Yes.
Okay. Any other discussion on this ordinance or budget? We just talked some vague numbers here. Looks like we're expecting 1.474 million in revenues. And so our total expenditures, 1.474. But at the very end is reserves of 613,545.
Yeah, that's a carryover.
So that's gonna be a carryover
into
because
January.
we're not expecting to collect any property taxes this year.
Correct.
The point I'm just trying to get to is that we're well under budget.
Yes.
We're barring any unforeseen circumstances.
And everything is pretty much an estimate as it is, because what we've even been paid could either go up or down depending on when the real numbers come out. And the same at the end of the year when the real numbers come out for our tax, what is it, the sales tax.
Mhm.
We're just kind of guessing it was what it would have been the first 6 months, which we'll have a better, maybe by the middle of next month. We'll know exactly what it was.
Inflation, you think, is gonna cause tax rate to go up, but also with the inflation of everything, you'd think the less purchasing would be happening. It's all.
Trucks don't seem to be slowing down in my neighborhood, the Amazon and UPS.
Yeah, well, good. Good. All right,
So we make it as amended.
yeah, so we need a motion as amended.
Okay, I'll move that we adopt ordinance 22-25 as amended.
It's been moved and seconded that we adopt ordinance number 22-25, adopting the fiscal year 2023 budget as amended. We'll proceed to a roll call vote. Terry Minor?
Aye.
Jess Bird is yes. And Craig Smith.
Yes.
All right. Got 3 votes for that, and that carries. Okay, we have our 2023 budget. All right, Craig, anything from land use and zoning?
No, not for today, I don't think.
If anyone tries to join in, we should hear a ding now from Craig. Okay, roads, do we want to discuss anything before we get to the interlocal agreement? Okay, right on to the interlocal agreement.
We're gonna have to amend it,
What's that?
change that signature.
Okay,
I have to tell John.
we'll fix it. I've got the Word document version, I can fix it. Where's our recorder when we need her? She needs to fix her own name here. Okay, all right, so we've got resolution number 22-24, resolution of the Erda City Council approving interlocal cooperative agreement with Twilla County for an extension of road maintenance services. This is an extension that was agreed upon both parties as an option at the beginning of the year. And so this is before us to go ahead and take that option to extend for another 3 months with the county. I do have the interlocal agreement in front of me. It ends September 30th. I'll go ahead and read the following. From July 1st, 2022 through September 30th, 2022, county will perform the same types of and levels of road maintenance, including weed spraying and mowing, that is performed prior to Erda's incorporation. Erda will pay $51,720 to county by paying to county all road funds received by Erda from the state of Utah within 30 days of receipt until the contracted amount has been paid in full. If after paying all road funds received from the state of Utah from the period of July 1st, 2022 through September 30th, 2022, the amount of road funds received from the state of Utah is insufficient, Erda will pay the difference no later than 60 days after invoice from county. We've got a bunch of signatures to do below here. We do need to fix the name of the Erda city report. Any discussion on this?
It's a little scary to me, just the part that they're talking about messing with the federal tax, fuel tax and state fuel tax. And so that may have or may not have an effect on the amount we receive.
If they do a tax holiday or something, we'll be.
Yeah, and that was supposed to have been for a 3-month deal. So that everybody seems to think it's not going to happen. And I know the state probably won't do it because that's how they pay their employees and stuff like that. So I'm just saying it's making me a little nervous is all.
If the federal does this, it shouldn't affect the state B&C road funds at all. But, yeah, if the state were to do it, I don't know if they can. I don't think they can.
Like I said,
But that would certainly impact this if it were to happen. So, and just for the record, there was not an extension clause in that original road contract. It was a hard stop on.
I thought there was an extension. Was that just policing that I'm thinking
The
of?
policing had an extension in it, but it was a hard stop on the roads, and the county has worked with us and graciously extended the offer to do this, and we can work with them on a long-term contract, I hope.
I hope so too.
I got to do some checking first.
Okay, any other discussion on this? Seeing none, chair moves that we adopt resolution number 2224. Resolution of the Erda City Council approving an interlocal cooperative agreement with Tooele County for an extension of road maintenance services. I will add as amended because we are going to fix the name of the recorder at the end.
Second.
Okay, been moved and seconded that we adopt this resolution number 2224. Proceed to a roll call vote. Craig Smith.
Yes.
Jess Bird votes yes. Terry Minor.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes. I will correct that name and we'll say we will deliver this as soon as I can get Jen's signature on this. I think she's coming back soon.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
She thinks she'll be back in time for the planning and zoning.
All right. Anything from economic development?
Not today.
Okay. IT, nothing on IT. Office,
Tonight, they're having their board meeting for the fire department, and we should get a up or down vote on paying for the year as opposed to monthly.
All right, this afternoon, Kel brought the mailbox and some drill steel over to me.
okay,
I'll get it welded up, put together. I think I'm gonna brush it, paint it.
really?
I don't think we're gonna put up an old rusty piece of drill pipe. We'll
I like the rust color.
paint it pink and purple and, oh, Terry said black. All right, we'll just go black.
Okay,
We're gonna get blue stakes to check it out first.
who's gonna take care of that?
Kel and
Got me. Kel volunteered you to dig the hole.
Oh, good grief. I'll dig the hole. I don't want to make the phone call. All right. I don't know exactly where it's going. I know it's
In
across,
front, was specified between two addresses, so I'm thinking it's gonna be like on the boundary of Moorwoods and whoever is to the west of it, almost straight across from the fire department.
Somewhere across the street from the fire department.
okay, I'm gonna take some ground marking paint of my own color, and I'm gonna paint an X where I think it's gonna go, and then I'm gonna call Blue Stakes and tell them, ask them what's there.
The only thing, and there is a phone box line that's sitting right there in that proximity. Is the only thing. I'm sure it goes diagonally towards the house, but I don't want to make any assumptions.
Yeah. If there's anything in the vicinity, you know I'm gonna hit it. That's just what I do. I will try to make that happen. All right, consideration of ordinance 22-26, a codification of the general ordinances of Erda City. Where you think this house would be packed?
You'd have thought so.
Oh, here we go. Ordinance adopting a compilation of ordinances. This compilation of ordinances I did not print. However, we have discussed it in depth. And gone through page by page over the last couple of weeks. All of the changes that we've asked for or compromised on have been completed.
There was a couple this week, that was changes.
Which ones are you talking about?
There was a couple parts in there that when they took out the chair part, it didn't flow, so John just fixed it, so.
But John did it.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, yes, John did fix them already.
Thank you, John. Oh, and I just want to mention that I think it's on page 105. It does mention that all existing business licenses will not expire as far as the city is concerned until August 31st. That gives us a couple more months to get our business license system in place. I think it'll be up and running a lot sooner than that. But assuming we pass this tonight, all those business licenses will be valid as far as the city's concerned.
Now, John, when you take a chapter out, can everything else stay the same, or does that make you redo all the chapters?
I'm
Seems
not
like,
sure your question.
seems like we took out chapter 12. And so it goes like 11, 13, blah, 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 blah. So I didn't know if we took out 12, if then 13 would be 12.
No, I just left it blank.
So at some point, and I would like to see this done pretty soon, I think we should go through a reformat process on our code and get it into Google Docs format. That way it can be posted well and searchable on our website. And so in the next month or two, I think we ought to go through and if we want to.
You lost me at Google.
What I'm saying is if at that time we want to number the chapters, I think that would be the perfect time to do it. Sounds pretty easy to do to me. John, how do you feel about that?
Renumbering the chapters is a nightmare
Ah,
because there's cross references and you miss one of them and it makes reference to a chapter that doesn't exist anymore. So what I would normally do is if we took out chapter 13, I just put in intentionally eliminated or something like that.
Intentionally left blank.
Yes.
Left blank, yeah.
Okay,
Works for me.
answered my
Because,
question.
yeah, somebody's gonna look at it and say, don't these guys know how to count?
Right.
Yes, we do.
And it was 13 that we, that
No, 12,
covered.
I think.
It was 12. I wish
It's
it was
12, I think, yeah.
You don't even have 13 on building floors and things. Anyway, okay. Any further discussion on ordinance 22-26 adopting our city code?
We beat these ordinance to death. They're the code to death. This is just an ordinance to adopt it. I move that we adopt ordinance 22-26.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we adopt ordinance number 22-26. Proceed to a roll call vote. Harry Minor?
Yes.
All right, but your device has to be unlocked for that.
Jess Berg votes yes. Craig Smith?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 22-26 passes and is adopted.
We're gonna have to table this resolution, fee schedule.
Unless we can fix it. So, okay, moving on to resolution 22-23. Resolution of the Erda City Council adopting a fee schedule. Now, remind me what the issue is with this one?
Well, there's kind of, I think Craig's got one or so, but the
There
other one
was-
is the fire department's gonna do that.
There was a couple things to add and change in the fee schedule. I think we could adopt the fee schedule though, with the modification and changes to it.
Can we make those on the fly right now, John?
Yes, we can. We need to decide how we're gonna deal with the fire department. And we'll probably have to come back and amend the fee schedule once we get an interlocal with the fire department to collect their impact fee for them.
Okay,
Otherwise, somebody that wants to get a building permit is gonna have to go to Erda, to Ensign Engineering, and then to the fire department. It just doesn't work very well. So
it doesn't make any sense.
question is how much should we charge for collecting that fee? Ensign says, well, Craig, go ahead and tell them what Ensign has told you.
For which one?
They want 10.
Fire.
Yeah, so on the fire, it'll take them $10 to collect it, give it to Terry, and do a quarterly report. They figure that they will get 6 to 8 permits a month. That $10 will allow them to collect it and give enough money for Roseanne to do the report. And then they suggested that as a city, we collect $15 to $25 in addition to that to cover our expenses of taking the money to the bank and writing the check back to them, the handling that we'll have to do. Whether we want to do an additional 15 or an additional 25 to their 10 is up for discussion, or if we want to do none. We have to be careful. We can't charge a lot more money than it costs us. We get in trouble that way, but we should cover our expenses.
If we charge 15, that makes a $25 service fee, call it.
There's a $25 administrative fee, that 10 of which will go to Ensign, and 15 will be for someone to go pick the checks up from Ensign and someone to issue the checks to the fire department.
I'm on Erda bucks anyways. 15's fine.
Appreciate that.
And I think 15 will cover it, and if we start losing money there, we'll adjust the fee schedule. But I think we can go low and let's see what happens.
Okay, John, I think we have 3 head nods on $25 admin fee for that. What else?
So in the community development area, there are some things that says not currently allowed, like multifamily residence card file. There's nothing anywhere that says those are not allowed. Matter of fact, we know some of those will be coming in Oak Point that is allowed. So I think we ought to.
Why does the fee schedule stipulate what is or isn't allowed? That makes sense to me.
It was just the way it was written up. So I would say that we ought to change multifamily residence to the IBC rate. The multifamily residence card file, 2 hours at IBC rate to match the single family. Where else? There was further down in the fee schedule, subdivision reviews, which we are allowing. I would suggest that we do for a general or major subdivision. I'm taking this number from Ensign Engineering, $3,500 plus $100 per lot. In family residential sites under an acre, says it's currently not allowed. I would scratch that line altogether and say sites on the next line down under 3 acres at $2,000. Conditional uses. We have one of those coming to planning and zoning next week. The county currently charges $600 for conditional use permits, zoning map amendments, and general master plan, but they are going to change their fee schedule. I think we should set them at maybe $800 for conditional use permits, zoning map amendments, or general plan, master plan amendment. They're all going to be allowed within a month. Let's just set the fee and get it in there now.
Did you go over some of this with Jake?
Yes. These are Jake's suggestions as we move forward. Like I say, he's one, the county says charging $600, but they're about to redo their fee schedule.
Well, he's our city engineer, right?
Yeah, he's the engineer, so he suggested that.
I got a couple of questions. Let's go back to conditional uses. Subdivision fee feels pretty stiff to me, $3,500 plus $100 per lot. That sounds like it could be a little stiff for somebody trying to divide
So
a
this
family
is,
lot of 10 acres or something.
this is for major subdivisions, general subdivisions, not a minor subdivision. Minor subdivision falls under a different scale that I don't see in here. But yes, if you are a minor subdivision, which is under 4 lots, you have a new and special set of rules just for you.
But nothing on the fee schedule.
I do not see it in the fee schedule, so we will have to add that in at some point.
Do you follow that, John?
We've lost John.
Hello, I
There.
can hear you. I'm working on it right now. I'm trying to follow. We'll have to go back through it a little bit slower.
So
So what I'm gonna do on subdivision review minor, subdivision review major. Is that the fine term?
Yep.
Yes.
So for a minor subdivision fee, what's it gonna be?
I don't have an answer for that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what kind of labor that entails on city engineer's side. And we need to cover that, right?
I think we should, anyone who asks for a permit or a review, I think need to pay enough to cover that permit or review.
We need to find out what they charge.
So we'll need to find out what it is.
Well, would a minor subdivision review be any different than a conditional use review?
I would guess,
Or-
yes.
Or a site plan review? Or, I'm sorry, a zoning map amendment or a general plan. And you were proposing $800 there.
I would guess, yes, it would cost more, but not as much as a normal subdivision review.
Is there a reason we couldn't wait till next week and have all these answers?
If we've adopted code that refers to a fee
Fee
schedule that
schedule.
doesn't exist, we could be in trouble. I think we need to pass this and then amend it.
Yeah, that would be my recommendation. We know we got to amend it.
Okay.
And I would say minor subdivision, let's do $2,500 and we can amend it.
I'd love to see that closer to 1,000.
So half of the major.
I have a county minor subdivision application in my house, and it's $750 total, plus $50 for each
lot.
lot.
We
That
can't
sounds
do,
great to me.
we can't do it as cheap as them. Let's do it. Because we can't. Let's do it $1,000 and $50 for each lot.
You get that, John? You okay?
Yes, is that the number everybody agrees to?
Seems all right to me.
Scott just pulled it out of somewhere, but I won't tell you where.
Looks like we're in agreement on that, at least for now, at least our
So
first.
it's $1,000 plus $50 per lot?
That's
For a
right.
minor subdivision, yes.
Okay.
And a major subdivision was 3,500 plus 100 per lot.
Okay, I'm slow. Give me that number again.
Major subdivision was 3,500 plus 100 per lot.
Okay.
And then conditional use, could we just briefly talk about what goes into that? I've never really been through one. So let's say we receive a conditional use permit or a application for whatever. It would start with Ensign Engineering. So we're already taking up their time with that application process.
Right.
They got to recover that. But at that point, we're at low level. We're at Roseanne dealing with that stuff at the beginning.
Well, okay.
And then what happens?
There's still something too that I don't know if you talked to Jake about, but I need to find out for sure, and I forgot to ask today, is that some of this monies that we're getting on the building permit go to the state at the end sometime, like if you.
We need to decide. We need to
So
find
we
out how
can't,
much that is.
figure.
So the conditional use money isn't shared with the state. The building permit money is shared with the state.
Okay, that helps. So we know whatever fee we decide on conditional use permit, we keep all of it or pay Jake with it, pay
So-
Ensign Engineering with it.
On a conditional use permit, they'll go fill out an application. Roseanne will give them the application, let them fill it all out,
Answer questions.
help them answer questions. It'll go to the engineer. He'll review it for whether it's compliant or not. And then he'll have to come present it to our planning and zoning.
What do they bill an hour? About 150?
Jake's rate is $190 an hour.
Okay. Okay.
So is there a reason that the engineer has to come to planning and zoning? The applicant couldn't do that?
The applicant will have to come also.
The
But
engineer's got to be
It's
there.
kind of like having an attorney. Someone's got to be able to articulate it.
yeah, someone has to be there to articulate it, how it fits, what conditions can be put on it, which can't, the rules of what the planning and zoning can do, and answer technical questions that they might have about it.
Anyway, 600 sounds steep to me. Jake was recommending 800. He probably knows better because he knows what how much of his time and things need to go into it.
So if your consultant or engineer recommended 800, that's exactly what I would do. Unless you have some reason to do something different.
No, I don't know.
I'm for the 800.
I would say 800, and if it's something that we actually start making money on, then we lower it.
Which we're gonna do a review. It'd probably take us another year, but we're gonna review that pretty well.
We will be reviewing.
Because right now we're just guessing on everything. So at the end of the year, we'll have some actual numbers.
Can I tell you, you'll never make money on conditional uses.
I've been at the county, the planning and zoning. They put a lot of time into simple conditional use permits. Going through it, helping people through the process. I agree, it's, even at 800, we won't make money. I don't think we'll lose money, but we won't make any money.
Well, and the concept is you're not supposed to make money off it. You're just supposed to cover your cost. And I think $800, normally what would happen if we had staff would come to would review the conditional use. And I assume Ensign Engineer will do this, see if it meets the requirements, determine if there needs to be some conditions added, and then determine what those conditions are, then would come and make a presentation to the Planning Commission with his recommendation. And then the Planning Commission takes it from there.
Great. No, I'm okay with the 800.
And once they've got a conditional use permit, they don't have to keep renewing it, do they?
No, it runs with the land as long as that use is being used. It runs there forever.
Anything else in the fee
Well,
schedule?
so let me just be really clear. They can abandon the conditional use.
They can. Or if they stop using the conditional use for a
Right.
period of 2 years, it goes away. I think that's what we adopted.
Okay, what else on the fee schedule?
Okay, zoning map amendment or text amendment. I think I'd leave that blank right now because we haven't even adopted a zoning code yet. And we're talking about the cost to amend it.
We could leave that blank, but we'll have that in and done within weeks.
Yeah, we will.
So I guess it's up to whether we want to come back and do this again in a couple weeks. As soon as we have our zoning map approved, someone can file to amend it.
Oh, we're gonna amend this one. We have to amend this one anyway because of the minor subdivision. Or did we get that decided?
He already has it.
I already added it.
All right.
Do we have an estimate for a cost of what that'd be?
Jake suggested 800 for zoning map amendments and general plan amendments.
Say adopt that. He's our expert. Let's go with that. We can
Put 800 on all three and
And it's one of those deals, we'll have to watch when someone comes for a rezone. Make sure it covers the costs.
We got that 800 too, I guess, maybe. Scott?
I'm good with 8.
me too. Okay, so I think that covers all the not currently alloweds.
I believe so. Those were all the changes that I had to talk about, I believe.
Okay. Chair moves we adopt resolution 22-23, adopting fee schedule as amended.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we adopt this fee schedule as amended. Proceed to a roll call vote. Scott Gerbay,
Yes.
Craig Smith,
Yes.
Jess Bird votes yes. Terry Minor. All right, got 4 votes on that. That passes.
Okay, so I lost you for a minute. What other changes did you make? Or did you table it?
800 on the last 3. So, conditional uses, zoning map amendments, and general plan are all 800 each. And that should finish out this fee schedule. There shouldn't be any more blanks.
So yeah, so the fees, all the changes in the fee schedule were the multifamily residence at IBC rate.
Hold it. So I'm scrolling.
That's at the very,
Okay, IBC rate. Okay, give me a second. Okay,
the multifamily residence card file, 2 hours at the IBC rate.
okay. Hang on. Okay, got that.
The major subdivision review at $3,500 plus $100 per lot.
Okay.
The minor subdivision was 1,000 plus $50 per lot.
Okay. You did something with family residential.
Yes, maybe the easiest way to do it is sites that are under 1 acre, just at 2,000. So it matches the sites that are 1 to 3 acres.
Okay.
Then conditional uses, 800, zoning map amendments, 800, and general plan, master plan amendments, 800.
Okay.
That was all.
So, you got conditional uses at 800, zoning map amendment 800, or text amendments 800. Is that how you're reading that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So that's what you passed?
Yes.
Okay. It is now electronically saved, and so let it be written.
Thank you, John. Okay, council representative reports.
I have a question.
Yes.
So Daryl was here last week, asked.
Who?
Daryl, I always want to call him Daryl Nilsson, but it's not. He works with Joe White.
Anderson?
Harold Anderson.
Daryl Anderson. Asked who to talk to get started on a subdivision that was approved years ago. And I had a call this week that kind of brought that to my attention. One of our neighbors was asking about an ADU on her property. She already has an ADU, but she was under the understanding from the previous owner that she could have like 4 on her particular. So I sent her to talk to Jake, and Jake was a little gun shy about telling her exactly what, but he ended up telling her just exactly what I told her, that she can't have another one. She has, her ADU is really small. If she wants to add on to that, she can still keep it under the footage, but who do we send people to? Is it us? Should they come to us with those kinds of questions? I don't know that we pay Jake to do that, do we?
This is why we pay Jake the big money. He gets thrown under the bus.
Oh.
To,
Jake's our first line of defense.
Okay. So it is Jake that we should send them to.
Yeah,
And then he can call us and
yeah.
get
For
clarification.
interpretation, if there's.
Yeah.
interpretation.
He reviews all these applications for compliance.
Well, that's the way we did it.
Good.
So,
So I guess that's the answer to Daryl's question.
Well,
Talk to Jake.
so no, Daryl had a question about two subdivisions, Tilby Village and Erda Estates. And he wants to move those forward. I might lean really hard on John for input on this, but those were PUDs that were approved by the county some years ago and been tied up in lawsuits. My opinion, and this is just my opinion, is until the court allows those PUDs to move forward, we should do nothing.
I would absolutely agree, and because we don't know what the court's gonna say.
If we go through and approve them now, we're circumventing the courts. So, and I told Daryl this once before, that until these come out of court, we can do nothing. If you want to apply for a new application, you can, but your existing approved application, until the court says you can do it, I won't vote to move it forward, because I think we've put ourselves in jeopardy if we do.
Yeah, what I would suggest he does is, if he wants to move forward on a different basis than he's currently doing, he can make a new application and he can dismiss his lawsuit. That would allow him to go forward with that new application.
Okay.
So who's suing who here?
Well, I think
Who's the other end of that?
the ECA is actually suing them and the county over the PUDs, but anytime you're in a lawsuit, you could drop your side and walk away.
We're waiting on a decision on that.
We're still waiting on a decision, and my vote will be to patiently wait on that decision.
you as well.
Sounds logical to me. I have a question. Is the power gonna go off here at 8 o'clock? Because it's going off of my house at 8 o'clock.
Ours went
It's
off
kind of a personal
yesterday.
thing. Yeah.
Yesterday.
They called me and said 10,000 customers are gonna be shut off at 8 o'clock.
Well, we're about done. Is
That will infringe with my getting pie.
We got one more thing that probably, maybe we can could
Yeah,
just
so just to clarify, we're on general comments now, so just
Okay, here's the-
anything you got.
fireworks.
Yeah, we need to
We
discuss.
need to talk about that. John, can we make like a policy, like say, just throwing something up that say, Erda City, there is no fireworks allowed east of 36?
Yes, we can, but it requires input from the fire department. Have they not gotten back with you?
Well, yeah, I've talked to both of them. I talked to the fire warden and the North Tooele fire chief. The county is doing it. The unincorporated is no restrictions. However, Grantsville City, Tooele City, most of the cities do have a fire restriction.
The county warden is trying to draw a map and he wants to know what to draw for Erda.
Right, and that's our determination. So what we need is input from our fire people. So if you want him to have him send me an email with kind of a map of what he thinks where it should be, and I'll draft the ordinance that prohibits ignition sources within that area.
Well, the North Tooele Fire, they just soon have a ban of the whole thing. But that's up to us. It's not up to him. We go by his recommendations and stuff.
So I think if he were to send you that email, John, he would draw the entire border of Erda right now.
Okay, do we want to do that?
Do we want to do that?
I think we're at risk of burning down. anywhere that we set off fireworks.
Here's the other caveat to all of this that makes it even messier. If we say no for the whole thing, we have to, by state, what I'm told, state law, we have to come up with an area that is permissible for them to do fireworks. Unless we declare ourselves mountainous, and that might be a thing since we go up to Bates Canyon type thing, and then we wouldn't have to supply that. So that's your options, either do a policy like saying nothing east of 36, or the whole thing's banned and we're saying that's a mountainous because of the elevation up there, or, so that's what we need to kind of figure out what we're gonna do.
Do you have any input or clarification on that, John?
Well, if your fire guys say ban the entire city, I say let's put together an ordinance that bans it in the entire city and we'll fight it out. I have never banned fireworks in an entire city, but I've done it in pieces and parts of cities.
If we were gonna allow, and I'm gonna make friends and enemies with this statement, but if we were gonna allow, try to define where fireworks should be allowed, I'd say the 1 acre and under subdivisions, because they're the ones that are the most completely landscaped with the least amount of debris and weeds and things growing. Now they're right next to fields, a lot of them,
Hopefully don't
Right.
have bottle rockets
Yeah.
and sky things.
but hopefully if they're set off in the street, you've got a 1 acre buffer on both sides, at least.
It's a couple 4th of Julys ago. I spent my 4th of July evening in a pair of shorts, having the hair on my legs singed off with a shovel, trying to put a fire out so it wouldn't burn down a house that was half a mile from mine.
Some people celebrate different than others.
Yeah, we all celebrate a little bit differently, that's for sure. And it was different that year. My neighbor's house, we have no fire hydrants, burnt to the ground in January. We live in a rural community, and part of being in a rural community is not just having a few animals and some extra space. There's also a responsibility to our neighbors, and I would lean hard on banning them altogether, but certainly east of 36. I think they should be banned completely, and aerials completely inside the city.
Well, you can't ban aerials. You just have to ban ignition sources, which are defined as fireworks. I don't think you can be that specific on, say, no aerials in this area. Just say no fireworks in this specific area.
Aren't there other cities that ban aerials?
But they ban fireworks.
All right.
The state used to have a ban, they could only go so high or whatever at one
Yeah.
time. I don't know if that's.
They lifted that. Well,
They've
no aerials
partially lifted it.
whatsoever, and they lifted part of that.
But I told the fire warden I'd get back with him in the morning on which way we were going, so he can do his math.
But North Twilla County, their opinion was that they would like us to ban them.
We've been doing fireworks for over 200 years in the United States, and we're always going to have dry years, and I'd say more than half of our years are just as dry as this year. I don't know, I wouldn't be behind doing an all-out ban on fireworks. But I also am not taking any responsibility for other people's stupidity.
Yeah, it's hard because, I mean, we watched it in Twilla City, and it was 5 or 6, 7 years ago. I can't remember how many. It was half a dozen, 10 homes burnt down because of fireworks. one dry field of grass, and half an hour later, that many people displaced, and luckily no one was hurt, but those are some lives significantly changed and altered.
I would say as a minimum, nothing east of 36.
So
I can get behind that.
what if we did none of it east of 36? None of it west of, what would be Rose Springs Drive? How far west is that? Because if we get west of that, we get down to 1,000 acres of church farm that's got ripening wheat.
1200 west is the arena.
So we can say like
We want.
Rose Springs 236 is the only place.
Yeah, so we could box it into a little section of,
Center of town.
yeah, higher density housing.
You're right. Rose Springs is the last street before 1200.
And I could get behind that. Nothing east of 36 or west of Rose Springs Road.
For me, because that gives this space for people that if they want to. They can.
Yeah.
If you really need to light off a firework, find a friend in that neighborhood.
There still will be a field, around the church, corner of Erda Way and 36.
And you've got Zeller's property out by my neighborhood.
Yeah,
There are still some risks.
Anyway,
I
can
could vote
get-
for an outright ban. I wouldn't be afraid to do that, but as a compromise, I could do 36 to Rose Springs Road.
Now Rose Spring, John, just so you know, Rose Springs Road doesn't go full north-south on boundaries, so we'll just draw a line due north and due south of Rose Springs Road, something like that. Does that work?
We just got to tell the board and he'll do the math.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can do that. And if you just want to tell the warden that's where the map will be, then I'll have an ordinance for next meeting.
Because it'll almost be too late because they could start doing them like a week before the 4th. The 30th is when we meet.
But if you tell the fire warden this is where we're going to go, he may put it on the map and start enforcing it.
I'm saying, can we do that as a policy, not exactly an ordinance right now, but as a policy and put it out that this is what we're doing?
This is what we will do, right?
We need to have an official vote on that, John.
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion and give it my best shot.
Can we do that if it's not on the agenda?
No, but what you're doing is establishing a policy, and then I'll draft an ordinance for the next meeting.
All right,
So you'll be able to tell fire warden, here's what the city decided, but it's not binding until we adopt our ordinance next week.
okay.
All right. Chair moves that we,
Why don't you say chair moves that they direct the city attorney to draft an ordinance that would ban fireworks at this location, at these locations?
we're also instructing the
Firework.
warden.
And notifying the warden of the same.
Okay, chair moves that we authorize the city attorney to draft an ordinance authorizing and also notifying the fire warden that fireworks are allowed between Highway 36 and Rose Springs Road in a line following that road due north and due south.
and banned in all other areas.
and banned in all other areas.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. All right, John, do you have clear instructions?
I do.
And Terry, will you relay that to the warden?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Hopefully I'll talk to the fire chief too and get our office squared away.
Any additional comments from council members?
I move we adjourn.
Hey, I have one matter.
Go ahead.
So I met with Zions and bond counsel on a PID. I just want to make sure I got direction. So want to establish a PID policy that requires the PID to be paid similar to an impact fee as part of the purchase price rather than have it accrue over 10, 20 years. Is that right?
That's my requirement. I'm not going to push that on any other councilman, but
I agree
don't
with
wanna
that.
raise any taxes.
Yep, I agree with that.
so you got 3 head nods on that, John.
Okay.
What's your opinion though, Craig?
I think we ought to allow them to run it over a 30-year bond period.
Want to raise taxes. What's the for taxes right now to go up? Especially those of us on a pension.
There's 2 ways for them to pay it. It's either all up front or it's over 30 years and it'll cost them less over 30 years.
Still a tax. I don't want a tax.
So the people that buy the property will cost them less if it's over time?
It could,
It should,
and it gives the city more flexibility, and this is the part I don't really like, but it was given to me as a selling point, that it gives the city more flexibility to be able to use the money from that PID to benefit people outside of the PID area, community as a whole. A water tower, for example, is one of those things. And I've gone back and forth on this, but it doesn't sound right to me. And the 10, 20-year no levy and tax line item and all that just doesn't jive with me. And so a fee, impact fee like repayment policy is what I believe Erda should be adopting this time.
that's when I talked with Brett Palmer from Stansbury Park. He says impact fees never pay off. Stansbury Park is currently $2 million in the hole on their impact fees. Says over time, price goes up before your impact fees,
before the work's done.
before you get it. He hates them with a passion. Because they never fulfill
But
themselves.
it is the PID board's job to get that right.
Right. It's not an impact fee. What I probably should clarify that.
That's why I say
It's paid the same time as an impact fee as part, when you get the building permit. It'll be paid upon building permit.
Yeah,
That's when it'd have my vote.
If we adopt a certain policy now, does that mean that's the way PIDs are always gonna be done?
Nope, we can change the policy anytime we want.
we can change the policy.
Upper does whatever we do.
I would assume the policy have both options in it. And then we can adopt as we go, but
if we have it as an option, it will, the limited option will never be chosen because of all of the benefits and flexibility that the 30-year option gives them.
well, it's only what the city approves. But like I say, the 30-year bond rate is much, much cheaper than the 30-year mortgage. So I'm not opposed to it, but I am a minority voice here today.
I ain't raising
Well, we could be split since we're missing number 5. So it's kind of up to you, Mr. Dubé.
So we're talking about the PID because of Ochre Point, right?
But we're also setting a precedent and a policy for the city moving forward.
Yeah, so Ochre Point wants us to do a PID, but we cannot do that until we have a policy in place. So we need to adopt our policy first, and then we'll talk with Oak Point about their PID as it falls into our policy.
So some months ago, Joe White and I were on the phone about something, and we came around to PIDs, and he was wondering if we were gonna do it. If we were gonna be allowing PIDs, because Ochre Point really needed one. And I said, well, I think the way I have read the tea leaves, we're willing to accept it if it's paid up front. He said, well, that's the way I would rather do it. And I guess that's got me leaning towards, we're looking at this specifically for Ochre Point. And that's the way he wants to do it. And I'm worried like you are, Jess, that down the road, this could get out of hand. I don't know.
It gets all kinds of funky to me as more time goes
So
on.
I say you're going in the right direction, John.
Yeah, I think we got 3 head nods as you read it back to us.
Okay.
What else, John?
I want to talk to you some more about some PID stuff, but I think more in a smaller group and not part of a public meeting.
Okay.
So you're ready to adjourn?
I am.
Chair will accept a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we adjourn this meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.
The power's still on.
Get all your hay.
Not in the dark.
Was it supposed to go off at 8 or 8?
It was a quick,
They said 8 until 8:30.
it was a quick storm, huh?
Yeah. Craig was praying for enough rain to do some good if it was gonna rain, but
Did you lose?
as often happens.
Did it ruin any hay?
Well, not ruin it.
As long as it's bailed, right?
No, I've got 120